Alright guys, so today we'll be doing a breakdown on the fight of Naseem Hamed versus Marco Antonio Barrera and the importance of staying in line. And so this is a concept that I always talk about, especially when it's a southpaw fighting an orthodox fighter. And so what we'll see in the early stages of the fight, and even in the later rounds, was Naseem Hamed was planting his feet and trying to bend his waist in order to dodge the punches of Barrera. And so what we'll see here is Barrera will throw a couple of jabs while moving to the left, and then Naseem Hamed decided to bend at the waist, keeping his right foot at the same place while Barrera was moving his left foot to the left side. And so what that did was it hampered the vision of Naseem Hamed, and it also allowed Barrera to take advantage of the angles that was being opened up in the process of not moving with him. And again, he will plant his feet here, not moving his feet. Naseem Hamed will keep his right foot here as Barrera was moving to the left side, allowing Barrera to take advantage of the angles. Now Naseem Hamed did a pretty good job of looking at Barrera, but again, it will hamper your vision and it will allow Barrera to land the jab to the side of the face of Naseem Hamed. And he will bend his waist once again, get hit with the jab. This is why I said he got schooled with one punch. He will plant his foot here while Barrera was moving to the left side. Just look at him. Naseem Hamed was almost turning his back to Barrera, and so it hampered his vision and it allowed Barrera to take advantage of the angle in which he was punching from. Now on this one, he will throw a combination, and then Hamed will keep his foot there. He will try to pull away, staying on the back foot, but planting it. And Barrera was just able to land his punches easily. And so in the later rounds, Naseem Hamed stayed in line with Barrera. And so this is what I give him props for, because he actually decided to move his feet in the later rounds. We'll see that on this one. Hamed will take his right foot, and then as Barrera moved to the left side as he jabs, Hamed will stay in line with Barrera, in the sense that he will take his left foot, move it, and stay in front of Marco Antonio Barrera, as opposed to bending at the waist and then planting his feet, not being able to see Barrera in front of him. Barrera will throw jabs again on this one, and then instead of planting his feet, he will move his right foot, and then I will draw a line here. He stays in front of Barrera as opposed to staying still and then getting hit with the jab. Okay, so he stays in line. His right foot is right in front of the left foot of Barrera, and that's a sign that you're in front of your opponent. He'll do the same thing on this one. He will take his right foot, keeping it in front of the left foot of Barrera, as opposed to staying still and then getting hit with the jab constantly. He will take this right foot, following the movement of Barrera, as opposed to getting hit with the jab and then hampering his vision by bending so low at the waist. And that's what Floyd does. You know, Floyd, he bends at the waist, but he pivots with his opponent. If his opponent moves in a certain way, he's able to follow them. And so on this one, the same thing will happen. Hamed, as opposed to bending at the waist, he will take his right foot in order to keep up with the movement of Barrera, and then he will try to land the left hand. And then just watch his right foot, how he follows Barrera, as opposed to planting his feet and then getting hit. He actually stayed in front of Barrera now. He's staying in front of Barrera, and he sees the punches better, and he doesn't allow Barrera to create angles as he did in the early rounds. You know what I mean? There's the right foot. He bends at the waist here, but he takes that right foot and he stays in line with Barrera, staying in front of Barrera. And so this is the importance of it. Now he did this, it was a little bit too late, okay? And so that's why he lost the fight. And this is how he got schooled with one punch, and that is the jab. Barrera was throwing the jab while he was moving. Naseem Hamed was staying still, bending at the waist, and it was too late. Once he discovered that the key to winning was actually moving with Barrera, as opposed to using fancy head movement and clowning around, it was already too late. Barrera already had the points, and it was over at that point. But I also saw one thing that Naseem Hamed tried to do, but Barrera was also able to counter, which is trying to counter him with the check right hook. And so on this particular sequence, Barrera will throw a jab, Hamed will try to counter with the right hook, but then again, this will all come back to the same problem that I was talking about a while ago. Naseem Hamed was throwing, but he wasn't moving. He was staying in front. He was not moving with Barrera. And so when he threw this right hook counter, he stayed in front while Barrera was moving to the left side. And so Barrera was able to take advantage of this angle, and he was able to hit Naseem Hamed with a couple of punches because Hamed was staying still. So you watch it for yourself. He tries to counter. Barrera was able to take advantage of the angles because he was moving and because Naseem Hamed was not moving with him. He was not staying in line with Barrera. And he will counter again with the check right hook on this one. But then he does not move. Barrera was moving, Naseem was not moving, and so Barrera was able to hit him at the right side of his face, while Hamed, being too reliant on his head movement, was getting hit constantly. And so this is how he lost the fight. This is how he got schooled with one punch, and that is the jab. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this breakdown, and I'll see you guys soon. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Peace.